Welcome to the Elixir University webinar. My name is Keith Levitt. I'm a Senior Client Relationship Manager here at Elixir. Today's featured topic is how to use lifetime customer value to build SEM campaigns. Today is actually our first installment of our Guest Expert series where we will feature specialists from all aspects of digital marketing to share strategies, tactics, and expertise that they have gathered along the way. But before we get into that topic at hand, I wanted to give you a quick background about Elixir University. So Elixir University was launched in 2012 with the vision of democratizing the digital marketing industry through exceptional knowledge and expertise sharing. Through monthly webinars, quarterly seminars, we hope to provide those tools and knowledge to help people become better search marketers. We've also got a LinkedIn group, so if you're interested in learning more, you can join the Elixir University group on LinkedIn as well. If we can go to the next slide now. Today's digital marketing expert is Limin Zhao. He's the Global SEM Manager over at Lenovo, a company that we here at Elixir have had the privilege to work with since 2010. I've personally been working with Limin for just over a year and a half now, and the strategic vision that he has provided has been invaluable. So I know that this session is going to be an exceptional one. But before I turn it over to Limin, if you notice on the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a box where you can ask questions. So please feel free to write your questions there, and Limin will address them at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, Limin, you want to take us through it?
Yeah, great. Thank you, Keith, for the introduction. So good afternoon, or in some areas probably good morning or good evening. So I would like to talk about from my perspective and how we work with Elixir and build a global SEM program through a customer journey. And so before jumping into the tactic stuff, I just wanted to
actually, Limin, I'm sorry. Can I jump in real quick? I think the presentation is a little big right now. I think if we can minimize your screen a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry to jump in. Now we see it's a little bit smaller.
Let me do that just real quick. Yeah. Let me do some adjustment. Does this look better, or which?
This looks better. Yeah, that seems like it's a go down, go. One smaller. One more smaller. That's it.
Good?
We can see it now. Yep.
Okay.
It's the beauty of search engine marketing. We can adjust on the fly.
Yeah, that's how we call it, optimization.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So just want to briefly go through who we are as a company and how how we factor in all of these different components into the paid search program. So Lenovo is a 30 billion global personal technology company. We have over 30,000 people and customers in more than 160 countries. So we still consider ourselves as a new company, but we have a long history stretching back to the founding industry back in 1988 by IBM, and also the introduction of first PCs back in China in 1984 by Legend, which is the old name for Lenovo. And the company we are today actually was formed in 2005 when Lenovo bought IBM. And in 2009, we reacquired Lenovo Mobile, which was originally spun off. And in 2011, we finished two big acquisitions. So one is NEC in Japan, and the other is Medion in Germany. And both actually, in both markets, I have some data in the next slide. So both acquisitions have made us the local PC leader in those markets. And last year, we formed a partnership and venture, strategic partner with EMC. We also acquired a company in CCE in Brazil, and a cloud company called Stoneware. So all these acquisitions and partnership has really make us who we are today. And as you can see from the slide, that we are right now the worldwide #1 smart connected devices, which includes all 4 screens, PC, tablet, TV, smart TV, and smartphones. And we are #2 in global PC market, and we are #2 in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. We're also #2 in worldwide consumer PC market. So we're #1 PC in China, Germany, Russia, Japan, and India. We are #1 worldwide commercial PC, and also #1 in worldwide emerging markets. So just real quick, sorry, I think somehow my screen is paused. I don't know what's going on. Sorry about that. Is it back? Can you,
yep.
Keith, can you confirm that? Okay.
Market share juggernaut.
Okay. Yeah. So this is the slide I want to show you real quick. So we have, you guys have seen that we basically, market share has almost tripled since 2009, and basically, we had 13 amazing straight quarters as the fastest growing company. And with all this being said, how SEM really contribute to this growth, and how we utilize different strategies to drive and this tremendous growth. And one thing I wanted to utilize before jumping right into it is one of the product actually we recently launched. So I wanted to utilize this idea or this product, and to basically to tell the story how we utilize the customer journey piece. So we have this product called Ideapad Yoga, and with all these different functionalities, actually before the presentation I was talking with Keith, I want to showcase a product video about yoga, but just thought probably the video effect may not be that good for the webinar. But basically this is the new product. And with this new product, how we really build around a campaign to tell the entire story, and how we drive people from upper funnel to lower funnel, how we use different tactics. So this is how Lenovo define our media landscape. So on the very left side, we have the paid media, which, we have the online paid and offline paid media. So paid search is definitely one of the main paid media to drive traffic, and all the other components to we call Lenovo owned assets. So we use all these different tactics to drive to the assets, so that we can provide a cohesive Lenovo experience for customers. So when our users have a positive experience with owned assets, so we'll earn more, trust visits, and more conversions will be converted in the site, and how we can really utilize all these functionalities. And this is a traditional SEM campaign look like. So when we get this new product, Yoga, and what we're going to do is, so we create a campaign, and then we basically build a few ad groups around this campaign. And within each ad group, we have a set of keywords, and we also create a couple of ad copies to test within this ad group, and then we measure the last click conversion. For we can measure that in the more granular level in match type, or ad level, or keywords. But we all know there is a flaw in doing that. So this slide is about Lenovo customer journey. So the outside loop is the new customer loop. So it's really about how we drive customers' attention, interest, and desire. And then the inner loop is about existing customer and how we make the customer enjoy the product and to become bonded with our brand. And these two loops actually overlap at the purchase stage. So with this journey and how we really build out the customer journey campaign throughout, these SEM program. So probably given the screen size, you guys can see. I don't know if you can see very clearly, but I just want to briefly go through. So with the new customer and the existing customer segmentation, and we have this funnel built out. So we have this, the new customer side from attention to purchase, and how we really build out, each different of the stage, and how we define audience, and how we build creative, which means ad copies, and how we deliver, how we drive them to a different landing pages, and what kind of different tactics we should use in each different of the stage. And then the other important piece is how we measure each different of the customer journey. Like I said, just doing last click conversion is really, there is a big flaw in doing that, and you cannot really see how people getting engaged in the upper funnel. And then if we only look at the last click, probably when people get down to the funnel, they search for brand term, they convert. Okay, and so just briefly, so you all know as a search engine marketer, it's really hard to identify what your audiences are. It's not like a display program. You can segment out, say, okay, I just want to target people, between age 20 to 30 and their income level, and you can use some sort of, experience model, the mosaic model. You can do that, but for paid search is really hard. So what we can do actually with this customer journey is we define the audience by the type of keywords they're searching. So if it's more generic, so we are in PC industry, so if people searching more laptop or PCs, so we know they're operating the funnel and they are really looking for information. And at this stage, what kind of ad copy we should deliver, and what landing page we should drive them to. Apparently, if you only use your demand generation tactic, it won't work. So, and you need to think about things differently. And then the same thing with tactics. So you have Google, you have Bing account set up, but is that all the tactics you can take? What about, YouTube video search for your brand? And what about, Google Display Network? And all these different tactics. And then after this setup, a lot of people or search marketers probably just stop at this stage. So they think once we receive a conversion, so that's the end of the paid search program, which is not true. But for some industries, it may be true, but for PC or retail industry, I think there's a lot more for existing customers. So a simple example is, so when people search like like some keyword like Lenovo customer service. So if we have some sort of paid search ad to show, and then they can easily find us, and we can also provide some sort of accessories and then the family product under those similar type of keywords, and we can really focus on how we what kind of tactics we use, like Silinks or Google+, and we also measure that differently by customer satisfaction score or product cancellation rate, etc. Okay, and this is basically a roadmap of all these actions we have to develop this customer journey model. So basically, what customer need and the goal, the tactics, and the creative direction, the messaging. So and this is basically you can see everything together in this grid. All right, just want to quickly show you an example of the ad copies we developed in the different stage of the journey. So when people operate in the funnel, so we really want to focus on the product features and usage, so that way, and different call to action as well. So we don't want to drive them to buy probably once they are really higher in the funnel. We probably change more from buy now to learn more, and then once people get lower to the funnel, we want to focus more on the product benefits, so how they can enjoy the product, and then once they have the desire to buy and they have engaged with the site, so we really focus on the ad copies on the deals and the percentage or discount we can offer, so we can drive more purchase or conversions through there. And then after that, we really focus on how we can utilize to provide more product accessories, and then the customer service, and then family product. And real quick, these are the landing pages we developed for the different stage of the journey. And for the upper funnel traffic, we really drive them to the product learning page plus the video page. And once people get down to the funnel, we focus more on the shop page. So the shop page basically has more product information, specs, pricing, discount, and we also have a partnership with our resellers, so we can drive them to their retail store to buy the product from there. And then after people purchase the product, and then we really want to focus our traffic or attention to how they can buy accessories and bundles and other products, and then they can also write a review on the site and how what's their their feeling of using the product, and then so they can really write something and to advocate here and then to become bonded. So this is a slide I want to talk about, focus more on the SEM methodology. So no matter what campaign structure you come up with, you really wanted to stick to these three components. As a search engine marketer, relevancy is key, no matter what you do. And if you develop, it's irrelevant ad copy or landing page, you're going to get a really poor quality score, and your CPC will go up, and your traffic will come down. So it's really about relevancy, and you also wanted to do a lot of A/B testing to test the best ad copy and the best landing page combination. And another thing I want to mention here is I have seen a lot of advertisers, or sometimes some agencies may do something like when they launch your campaign, they put every single keyword in a broad match tab, and then they just put in there and run. It sounds pretty good idea because broad match tab is going to capture the most traffic, but actually that's not ideal. We all know that exact match tab is driving the relevancy and the quality score, and also it determines the minimum first page bid. So the best scenario, you really wanted to silo the majority of your traffic to the exact match tab. So that's a key for your account to perform better. And second is control. So this is really about cost control and efficiency control. A lot of times, when you manage an account, there are a lot of fat you can cut for the paid search program. And if you are in the area long enough, there are some non-converting keywords or low converting keywords, long tail keywords. There are a lot of opportunities you can cut. And also for match tab, the same thing. And then once you have limited budget, how you can silo more traffic to the exact match tab, and then supposedly to pause some of the broad match tab or freeze or minimize the spend from those two different match tabs. And lastly, about scalability. This is really, really important piece, I personally think, for SEM. Because most search engine marketing manager, you probably manage, millions of keywords, thousands of campaigns and ad groups. If you don't know how to scale, I got to tell you, you're probably going to work, 24 hours a day, because there's so many things you need to do, and there's so many different aspects you need to manage. So you really need to learn how to scale from term to term, from, account to account, and also, a role like me, you really need to learn how to scale from different country to country, or geo to geo. And you also need to know how to scale from device to device. All right. And the next slide, I want to briefly talk about global search engine landscape. So we all know Google is the dominant force, and it has around 92% of average market share in more than 23 countries. But there are some exceptions. So we know that Google only has about average 19% market share in China, Russia, and South Korea. So what are the local champs? In China, we have Baidu, which is definitely dominant. It has about 76% market share. With Google has about 19%, and Yandex in Russia has 61%. And South Korea, Naver is the dominant search engine, has about 65%. And Google in South Korea, they only have about 10%. That's pretty low for Google. So why do we care? If you have a global role to run paid search program, it's really important you know these local search engine champions, so that you can really utilize the synergies from local search engine, and also other search engines as well who compete with them. And so some of the data, I don't want to go through all of them. So in China, China is the #1 in the worldwide internet usage, and Russia is the #1 internet usage in Europe. South Korea is actually the #1 worldwide mobile web usage. So my last slide, I want to talk a little bit about competition. The competition here is not about how you compete with your real competitors. I think everyone here who is in the webinar knows that how you should deal with your competitors and how you bid competitor terms, etc. Here, I want to talk about if you're like me, and if you work for a company who has a lot of resellers and partners and retailers, and like that. So you may have encountered the same problem. So your resellers may come to the auction and bid on the same term, and sometimes the term will be your trademark terms. So it can really inflate your CPC and drive your cost that's so high. So and make your campaign become so inefficient. So the data I want to share today is that the data from last year, when we have a strong competition coming in actually from one of our resellers for our trademark terms, is our CPC and spend increased about 5 times during that period of time. So it was really the crazy back then. And so when we realized the series of the issues, and we start basically I start to talk with some of the people here and the managers who manage the different resellers, and we set up a cadence. We talk about this and how we establish some governance around this. So some of the recommendations we really want to protect, because for resellers, sometimes it does not make sense for them to bid off the product trademark terms, and then how we can really, make sure they don't outbid the brand name and etc. all the other components. So once the cadence is set up, you really wanted to monitor and maintain all of that. Okay, and with all that being said, and I think that's pretty much my presentation for today. Okay, Keith, back to you.
Great. So this is a question and answer period. We can address a couple of questions before the time is up. I'll start with the first question that we found, and the question is regarding siloing keywords to the exact match type. Are there any specific strategies that work while doing that?
Yeah, there are a couple steps you need to take. First, I think you need to make sure when you set up your bid, which is the max CPC, you need to make sure your exact match type set base the highest, and then followed by freeze match type and broad match type. So this is the first step. And then after your campaign goes live, you need to keep checking on your search query report and make sure the search queries triggered by broad or freeze match type is not actually existing in some of the other ad groups or campaigns, because this happens a lot, and which I call this a cannibalization within an account. So once that happens, there are two reasons. One is your exact match type bid may be lower than this broad match type in another ad group. So first, you need to make sure you adjust the bid. Second, you may want to silo that and add that exact term as an active into that ad group. You don't want to trigger this search query. So all these, if you can take all these actions, it can help you a lot. And another extreme way to do this, I know some agency or some advertisers have done this before. So you can set up actually set up your campaign structure based on match type. So you have a keyword only for exact match type in an ad group. Then you have a keyword in a freeze match type in one ad group and broad. And then what you're going to do is for the freeze ad group, you want to add the exact keyword as an active for exact match type only. And then for the broad match type ad group, you want to add this keyword as an active for freeze match type. So this way, you can really make sure you silo all your impressions and click to the exact match type. But this requires a lot of manpower to do that. Okay?
Great. Well said, Lemon. Another question about, while we're talking about match types, one came in. Do you use broad match at all, or do you think it was made obsolete by the broad match modifier?
No, I still use broad match type. As long as you have a total control and you have regularly running your search query report. I know right now actually that's a good question. I have noticed some agencies and some advertisers have switched from broad match type to the broad modifier match type. It makes sense for some companies if you have limited budget and you really have tight control regarding your keywords being triggered. That's a good way to do that. But with the original broad match type, the way I'm seeing it is still a way to harvest new keywords, because a lot of times it can trigger some type of keywords. Because you may know once we opt into broad match type, actually Google put that as a expanded broad match type. Sometimes it may trigger like acronyms, keywords like that, because you may never thought about that keyword should be added into your keyword list, but actually it's converting. But having said all that, over time, if your campaign or for this particular ad group or match type has been running for a couple of years, and you have been keep adding search queries from this broad match tab being triggered, I think you have probably a good sense. Maybe at some point you can pause that match tab, that broad match tab, so that you can really know, you can really save your cost, and you know you pretty much you have complete any of the search queries will be triggered by that broad match tab.
And I think we've got a lot of questions, but I think we have time for one more, and then we're going to have to wrap it up. The last question: what are your thoughts on dynamic search ads?
Yeah, dynamic search ads actually is a good way. I mean, especially if you wanted to have some kind of like flexibility, and also when you don't have a lot of time to set up keyword or ad group or campaign by yourself, and dynamic ad can really help you on that. But personally, I have done some tests on dynamic search ad, and sometimes because it's more like a Google type of thing can automatically do that for you. It's not ideal way to really drive a lot of relevant conversions and stuff like that. And so in a way, I would say it matters, because when I was in the agency setting, I actually have run that with a car manufacturer and company. Actually, it has been doing well with some sort of settings, and but when I do that test with a like a poster selling company, it didn't do well. So I would say it's more like how you set up the campaign and how you view it, and how flexible you want your campaign to be. And also, you need to work closely with your Google team to check on that. I think there's a lot of things still doing similar like in a black box. So check on that and work closely with your Google team.
That's great. Thanks, Lyman. So I think that's going to bring us to the end of our session today. Thank you, Lyman, for all of your insights. They're like I said earlier, they're invaluable. I appreciate that. For anybody who asked a question that we didn't get to today, we'll reply to you and get you your answers. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to contact us. And you can always tweet about us at #NetElixirU. And we have our elixirmarketplace.com for free access to SEO and SEM tools. So again, thank you, Lyman, and good luck to everybody on their SEM campaigns.
All right. Thanks, guys.